So I think we can start, right? So
Yeah,
today's
sure.
agenda, as you can see on the screen itself, it's about unlocking data science, the pathways to innovation and career growth. So before we will talk and move in depth towards this specific agenda, how many of you are already, somewhere aware about me? I think it's a good idea that first of all, I will introduce myself. I will aware you guys that who I am, what usually I'm doing currently, right? What is the okay, so many people are saying me. Okay, that's a good thing that many people are aware about me. But for those people who are not at all aware about me, let me introduce myself, and then maybe step by step we will deep dive into the today's agenda, right? I'm expecting that after the session will get over, at least you will get the amazing insights with respect to data science, which will help you in future to take the decisions that whether you should opt for this or not. At least you will get this clarity by the end of today's session. So my humble request to everyone is to stay tuned till the end of this session. I'll not try to stretch it along, but I'll try to make it short and crisp. But at the same time, I really want to give you the important ideas, important points, which I feel if I was aware of at my time when I was learning, when I was doing my bachelor's, might be that would be helpful for me, right? So I will share all those perspectives and points with you all, right? So without further ado, let's get started. And first of all, my name is Priya Bhatia, and I'm currently working with Turing as a lead data scientist position. Apart from this, I have my own platform, Tech for All with Priya, which I think sir has already talked about few minutes back, where I launched my own personal courses with respect to data science and DSA. The only purpose is to guide students. The only purpose is to aware them that what are the technical skill set required. The only purpose is to fulfill that gap where people just know the theoretical understanding and not aware about building the projects, or maybe the people aware about building projects but they don't know the theoretical understanding of the same. So uh, bridging that gap so that people will get to know that what are the important technical skill sets required in order to grab the job in any of the product based companies. That's the whole purpose. I myself have given lot many interviews, cracked lot many interviews, have a lot of experience in terms of teaching also, and in terms of building the projects in the industries. So I just try to share whatever experiences I have gained so far, and still I am on the way to learn more and sharing more in near future, right? So I hope that this brings you the idea that who I am. Apart from this, you can also find me on my YouTube channel. My channel name is also by the name of myself. It's Priya Bhatia. So you will observe that there also the videos of DSA and data science I used to post just to guide everyone, right? So today our focus is majorly towards data science, which is a quite booming domain, right? Nowadays, if you will be able to observe, almost everywhere on LinkedIn or Naukri, wherever you will observe that maximum companies are hiring for these specific positions, right? So today we will see that, how we can make ourselves job ready, what are the key skills which is required, and is this important or not in the near future, right? Is this a good domain or not to choose in near future? So uh, if you will see, this is the few things which we will cover up today. First of all, might be there are people who are not aware about data science. So is there anyone in the batch who is hearing this key term data science for the very first time? Anyone who is not aware about what is data science? Everyone have heard this? Super awesome. That's a good thing. So it means that you are really aware about tech, right? What is going on in the market. There are very few people who are saying that, yes, we are not aware. So let's try to, first of all, get that awareness that what is data science. We will try to understand it in a lot more depth. After that, I will talk about the impact of this domain in current industries, right? I will try to give you few real-time examples for the same. Third pointer, which we will cover up, is the opportunities that we have in data science. The fourth thing is the pathways to become data scientist in near future. Next upcoming part, which we will cover up, is the innovations which are happening in this industry. And at the very end, we will try to wrap up the session. Okay, that's the complete flow which will go. So as you can see on my screen, when we are talking about data science, it's a field where you can say scientific methods, algorithms, multiple systems try to extract the insights. So basically, our purpose in data science is to, you know, apply some algorithm, apply some maths on a unstructured data or maybe on a structured data to get a business insights. Now you will ask me that, Priya, why is it helpful? What is the benefit we are doing over here? The thing is, uh, let's say now I have my own platform, right? Few minutes back I told you. And let's say that as a edtech platform, right? As a edtech platform, my need is to, let's say, sell my courses. At the same time, if let's say there is some other person who is from any XYZ domain, they are launching their own products, their need is something different. So basically, we have data set available, right? So we have a lot of data sets. Now, this data sets can be a data which belongs to a structured data, or this can be a unstructured data. When we are talking about structured data, it means that any kind of data which will be available in the form of rows and columns. That is the meaning of structured data. Have you seen MS Excel sheet? Have you ever worked with this platform of Microsoft Excel? CSV files? Yes. So all of these are the examples of a structured data. So I will provide to data scientist people the CSV file that, okay, these are the learners of my platform. Take this CSV file and give me the informative insights. The only objective at the end of the day to deal with this data is to make the great decisions which will help my company to grow revenue. And this is the same thing which will happen for almost all the industries. What we want at the end of the day, we want to increase our revenue. We want to increase the profit that we are earning. So the only way nowadays to do that is to take better decisions. And how can we do that? This is where this data science domain comes into picture. There is a complete life cycle for this domain. We always start from business understanding. So you will try to learn what clients are expecting from you in a meeting. So they will share their insights. They will provide you that, okay, this is something which I want at the end of the day. After that, as per the business understanding, you will try to work upon data collection part. Depending upon what is the objective you want to achieve, accordingly, you will try to collect the data. In the third stage, you will try to prepare the data. What is the meaning of data preparation? It means that, let's say, we have multiple databases. I hope everyone knows what is the meaning of database. What is the meaning of database? I think everyone knows. Database, simple meaning is that we are trying to store a huge amount of data in a structured format. It can be, I think you must have heard about MySQL, right? It can be Oracle, DB. There are multiple databases which are available in the market, right? MySQL, I hope everyone have worked with. It's a quite famous database. So basically, we are trying to store our data in the MySQL database. MongoDB, good example of a NoSQL. I think you guys are aware, right? So what happens is when we're talking about data, data can be available at multiple databases, multiple sources. So what we are doing is we need to extract from every source that data. So we need to prepare that. We need to create a complete pipeline for the same, right? So that at one specific server, our complete data is available. And after that, the important task starts, which is EDA. EDA in the complete data science lifecycle is one of the most important tasks. What is the meaning of EDA? Exploratory data analysis. To get the important analysis done over this data. For example, whenever you will get any raw data, after preparing of data, you get data set, right? Now you have a data ready. This data can contain missing values because it's a raw data, right? This data can contain maybe the outliers. What are outliers? These are the extreme values that we have in a given data, right? So you can say that it's kind of the data cannot be a quality manner. So after doing the EDA task, exploratory data analysis, what we are doing is at the end of the day, this is the raw data available and we are making that data to a quality data by filtering out multiple things. There are so many techniques we have in EDA. Maybe in future we will cover up that part, but today let's focus on that EDA is a technique where we have a raw data and we are trying to get the quality data out of this, right? Where I don't have any missing value, I don't have any outlier, I don't have uh, any problem in terms of the features that are available in my data. I will try to handle it very appropriately. That's the whole purpose. And usually, data scientists spend almost 80 to 90% of their time in their project in this specific process. It's a huge process, which requires the knowledge of mathematics as well. Here, the stats plays a very significant role while doing the EDA. I'll come up to that point later on as well, that what are the technical skills required. But this is the very important stage in the life cycle. That's the important point which I want to convey over here. And after this, data modeling starts, where multiple different kinds of algorithms we apply. We try to evaluate that in the next stage. And if, let's say, we're getting a superb result, we deploy that on the server. So that is how the complete flow usually goes, right? Now, let me try to give you this example with the help of one use case. Let's say you are dealing with AI in healthcare domain problem. So I'm talking about one use case so that you will get a clear idea. Now, the problem is that, let's say your task is to predict the cancer cells, in a body. So either a person have a cancer or a person don't have. If a person will have, it means the result will be yes. If a person don't have, means the result will be no. Now, this is something which is, I would say, is the first step, business understanding. So now you understand that what is the use case which we are trying to solve. Now, who will explain you this thing? Obviously, in the healthcare domain, the domain experts are doctors. So your clients will be doctors. They will reach out to you. They will connect with you. And you are a data scientist. They will tell you that, okay, this is my requirement. So I will provide you a data set. Data set will be of patients' data. And obviously, without doctors, even it's not ethical to take data set. So doctors only will provide you a patient's data to deal with this problem. And they will say that my business understanding is that in this data set, there are few patients which belongs to a cancerous. There are few patients which doesn't belongs to that. So this is the business understanding. So that is the very first task, to observe, to clarify, to ask the doubts if you have with the clients, that what actually you want to achieve. So this is a kind of problem which we call as classification problem. Means we need to classify our task into two categories. Either the class belongs to 0 or the class belongs to 1. So the first thing is clear. The first step is clear. Business understanding with respect to this use case. Is that fine? Shall we move ahead? What is the second step? Do you remember? In the life cycle, what was the second step? Tell me. Just now we have covered up. After business understanding, what was the second step which we supposed to work upon? Many people are saying EDA. No, EDA is not the second step. Data pre-processing? No. Data collection. Very good. So now let's move to the second step in this use case, data collection. Now for this part, let's assume that data is already given to you by the doctors. So that is very easy step for you. You have already taken the patient's data with the permission of doctors, and now you have a full access of patient's data available to you. What is the third step? What is the third step? Tell me. What is the third step? You can see, right? Data preparation. So if you will be able to observe over here, So what we will do over here, data preparation. Now again, data preparation step is an optional step which requires only when your data is not available in one proper CSV file. It might be available in different databases, and then you are trying to extract them. But let's suppose for now, to make your problem very easy, let's assume that we have a data available in one platform, maybe in a CSV file, all the records are available. So this is also done. Tell me, what is the next task? What is the next task after data preparation? Is it EDA? Is it EDA? Yes, that's true. So the next task is EDA, exploratory data analysis. So in this case, we have a patient's data which contains lot many null values, lot many missing values, lot many outliers. So with the help of EDA, we will be able to achieve the quality data. We will be able to achieve the quality data. That's the whole objective. Make sense? What is the next step? What is the next step? Data modeling. So now we will be having multiple algorithms available in data science, which will be basically helpful for us to do the classification task. For example, I am just writing one name over here. I'll not go in deep dive into this part. For example, let's say we applied random forest over here. It's a classification algorithm. We applied that, and let's say we achieved some outcome. Now we have to test this model. We have to check that whether the outcome is good or bad. So for that, what is the next stage? What is the next stage? That will be data. After data modeling, what is the next stage? We need to evaluate that, right? So data evaluation. So we are checking that whether, or we should say model evaluation, not data evaluation, model evaluation. So we are evaluating that whether the results are good or not. What is the accuracy of the model? Whether it is giving us a great results or not. And at the very end, once we get the great results, we will try to deploy it. Model deployment. If you will ask me which one is very crucial step, again I am saying this is the one of the most crucial aspect of the given pipeline. You can only consider if, let's say, we don't have a quality data, then do you think your model is learning from this data itself, right? You are trying to do a modeling on top of this data itself. If your data is not of quality manner, so obviously the complete results will go wrong. The complete pipeline will go wrong. So that's the whole point. We need to spend a lot of quality time to work upon this EDA task so that upcoming results will be great. That's the whole objective. Will that be fine? Shall we move ahead? Is that okay? I'm seeing a lot of questions with respect to data engineering, data science, data analyst. All these things I will cover up in the PPT itself. Wait for a while. Everything will come up step by step. Okay? And once the session will get over, we will take Q&A as well. Perfect. So I hope till so far everything is clear. Can I get some confirmation fatafat se with everyone? So far so good? Are you guys understanding my points, what I'm trying to convey? Perfect. Let's move ahead now. Now the next important thing is, we know now what is data science. We know what is the complete life cycle of data science. But what is the impact this field is giving? So why people are so fond of nowadays this specific field? People are getting a lot of great packages also in this specific domain. There is a lot of hiring going on, even in the job market, where people are firing in great companies. People are hiring on this position. Why is that so? So the very first thing is the industry transformation. This specific field transforms the industry in such a way that every kind of industry, few minutes back I talked about my own example of edtech. You will see fintech. Fintech means any financial specific company, banks, everywhere you will observe that they will be easily able to take the decisions just by looking upon the data set, right? That is where they're getting transformed by generating a huge amount of revenue. Second thing, personalization. What is the meaning of that? For example, let's say you are the one having a great salary. On a monthly basis, let's say you are having a paycheck of 5 lakh. Assumption, right? You're getting a paycheck of 5 lakh per month from a given company. Now, as a bank, for example, let's say HDFC is your salaried account and you're getting an income over there. So bank knows that this person is having a this much higher salary. So what banks will do? They will start calling you. They will start giving you a great products like the credit cards, the loans. Why? Because they know that this person is capable enough to repay that loan, and if not, this person is capable enough to give us that good amount of interest, right? So as per the given choices of the customers, they are trying to give you that kind of offers. That is what we call as personalization. That's the whole point. For example, when you go to malls, right, you will be able to observe that the kind of offers we have in brands like Max, Zudio, right? These similar kind of offers are not available in bigger brands, right? So there's a difference. They know that what kind of customers will come into Zudio or Max and what kind of customers, let's say, will come to Van Heusen or Ellen Solly brand. You cannot get the offer of buy one get one t-shirt in Ellen Solly, right? But you will get the offer in the Zudio. So that is the whole point, that the kind of customers we are getting, accordingly the offers will be there. Third important thing is the efficiency and optimization. We will be able to generate the efficient results. We can optimize those results with the help of this specific domain. Fourth point, I already have talked about that it improved the decision-making process in order to generate the revenue. And the last thing, it acts as an innovation catalyst. What is the meaning of that? There are very new domains which are coming up because of this data science. Nowadays, you can see a boom of generative AI, right? I hope everyone again have heard this term, generative AI, right? So people nowadays are hiring a lot in this specific domain. After the November last year, when ChatGPT launched, you can see people are gone crazy, right? There is a lot of things are happening. Startups are coming up. A lot of fundings are there going for generative AI. So there's a lot of innovation happening in the industries with respect to this specific domain. And we don't know in the next upcoming years what's new will come up. It's just that we need to be ready. We need to be flexible enough to learn all those stuffs. That's the whole idea. So that is the impact which data science domain is bringing up in the industries, right? Now, I think this is the very widely asked question, right? What are the career opportunities we have in data science? I think many people are interested for this, right? We have so many opportunities when we talk about data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, machine learning engineer, AI researcher. I hope you have heard all of these positions in somewhere, Naukri.com or LinkedIn.com. Everywhere, I think at least these positions you ever encountered of, and you're in a college, companies are coming up. You must have seen in the JDs these kind of positions are there. So what is the difference between these positions, right? Let's try to talk about this as well. So again, I'll go to my PDF. And when we are talking about data analyst, listen it very carefully, and you will definitely won't regret this specific session, because this will brings you clarity that where you have to go, right, at the end of the day. When we talk about data analyst, these are the people whose major focus is on, as the name itself suggests, analyzing the data. Means they will more focused on creating the dashboards after doing the analysis and doing the reporting task. Means for them, the main skill set is their business intelligence tools. They should have a great idea about BI tools. That is why you will observe the companies which are hiring for data analyst position, they will look in you the skill set of Power BI, or you can say Tableau, or you can say MS Excel, right? Apart from this, you should have a good idea about databases. Databases like MySQL. You should know the SQL queries. You should know about, apart from this specific things, the concepts of statistics, because that will be a very important topic, as I told you, while doing EDA to analyze the data altogether. So the main purpose of data analyst is to analyze the data. Their purpose is not to get the predictions. So whatever few minutes back I talked about the life cycle, right? This part, this part of data modeling, model evaluation and deployment, this part will not be done by data analyst. What they will do, they will just do until EDA, analyze the data properly, make the quality data, and then they will start creating the dashboards for the same with the help of these tools like Power BI, Tableau, MS Excel. Will that make sense? Is it clear? So they won't go for the algorithmic knowledge. They won't go and evaluate the model. They won't go or deploy the model. Their task is just to get the quality data. Their task is just to analyze the data properly and then create a creative dashboards for the same at the end of the day using the tools like Power BI or Tableau. Right? Then this is the first step if you want to enter into the data science domain. I would say you can directly enter also, but if you can follow this path, that will be giving you a more better idea. Means if you as a fresher, company is coming up and giving you a position of data analyst, it's not a bad idea to get that position, right? It's a step one process. You can try and have some experience of data analyst, try to grab the skills over there, and then you can go to the second step. What is the second position you will heard? Apart from this, then we have data engineering. Now, who is data engineer? The purpose of data engineers is to create a complete pipeline. Few minutes back, I have talked about data preparation, right? Where the focus is to collect the data from various sources and to prepare the data in an appropriate manner. This task is usually done by data engineers. So what they usually do, they try to collect the data from various sources and majorly they work upon big data. That is where the tech stack of big data comes into picture. They try to curate an end-to-end pipeline for the same. The key skills like Hadoop, you must have heard of, Hive, Scoop, Apache Spark, right? Databases, knowledge again, SQL and NoSQL. All of these things comes into picture. Yes, Pig. There are many Apache Pig. Yeah, it's correct. So many more and many more, right? But these things which I have mentioned are the key skills which is required for the people who are in data engineering domain. So in data engineering domain, no one will ask you that do you know Power BI? Do you know Tableau? Right? Even stats also not that much in-depth knowledge is required. If you know the broader level also, that is fine. So if your focus is on to curate a end-to-end pipeline and you really love that kind of work, you really love to deal with a huge amount of data, that is where this specific domain comes into picture. It's an optional thing. If you really like it, go for it. If you don't, you can skip this as well. And after that, the next domain comes into picture, which is data scientist, which we're talking about today. So when we're talking about data scientist, the one thing is, first of all, you will observe that the requirements of a person who is data scientist is quite huge. The expectations is quite huge from you. They're expecting you to know in maximum companies almost everything. At least the startups which you are observing over India, like in India, they can give you any kind of a task and they're expecting you to know that, right? Means they can give you a task of data analytics also, data engineering also. So data scientist people are the people who are having a great domain knowledge, right? They are having a great domain knowledge, which comes by great experience also. They requires you to have a good knowledge of statistics. They requires you to have a good knowledge of algorithms. When I'm talking about algorithms, I'm talking about machine learning algorithms. I'm talking about deep learning algorithms. I'm talking about NLP based algorithms. Whatever be the data set you are working with. If let's say you are dealing with a numeric data, right? For example, banking data is a numeric data example. That is where you will deal with ML algorithms. If let's say you are dealing with the image specific data, right? For example, you are solving a problem of face recognition, which we usually have in the smartphones, right? Fingerprint recognition and all these things. That is where deep learning algorithms comes into picture. If you are dealing with data which is a textual data, for example, you are dealing with the problem of sentiment analysis, right? That is where NLP domain comes into picture. So you should have a core idea about at least all of these domains. And I'm saying core idea, at least basics should be clear. And then in one domain, maybe you can gain expertise. You can say that, okay, I'm very good and expert with ML, because you cannot be expert in every domain. That's not something which is quite feasible. Maybe you can if you have 15, 20 years of experience, but at least when you're starting your journey, you have to pick up one point from where you can start. Maybe ML is something which you can start, or DL is something from where you can start, or NLP is something from where you can start. Generative AI is a part of this NLP domain, right? Because there we are dealing with the textual data, generative AI, right? Q&A, question answers. Generative AI is a domain where data is generating, right? When you are asking some question to chat GPT, it is giving you response. So generating the data is what the domain of generative AI. And why it's a part of NLP? Because we are dealing with the textual data over there. That's the whole idea. So in data science domain, all these are the key skill sets. So they're expecting you to have a good sense of coding as well, right? You should be aware about maybe Python is best suitable, either Python or R, but I think Python is the preferable choice because it contains a lot many great frameworks which we can use to do our data science task, right? So these are the specific key skill sets required from you. So when we're talking about data science people, I think I already have covered up. This is the complete pipeline which you should be aware of, which you will do at the end of the day in any of your industry projects. So you should be very good in terms of dealing with the modeling part. Which kind of model should work the best? What is the mathematical or maths behind that specific model? You should be aware of in terms of doing the evaluation part, in terms of doing the deployment part, right? After that, you will see that there is a position of ML engineer, machine learning engineer also in the companies. So if let's say you are saying that, I'm someone who is having a very great expertise over machine learning part, means I'm someone who can better deal with the numeric data. So if you're applying to any kind of a banks today, for example, we have a lot many banks, like, or any of the consultancy firms like EXL, Deloitte, right? There are many consultancy firms we have. So in those companies, still today, you will observe that they're using machine learning a lot in their work. So that is where ML engineer position comes into picture. And at the very end of the day, you will observe that there is one position called as AI researcher. So these are the people who are working basically in terms of doing a research part more, in terms of publishing more research papers. So whatever be the new things coming up in Gen AI, so maximum companies currently today are working on this specific task to generate new things, to deal with the new data sets, to create the new user prompts, to create a new kind of a data set, which is basically helping us to get the new analysis being done. So this is a task done by AI researchers. So whatever be the new thing you can see happening all around the world, whatever be the new research papers we are going to see all around the world, will be done by AI researchers. So their main task is whatever thing has been done is done. What new we can generate on top of that, that is what AI researchers are doing. So that is the whole position set that we have in the industries nowadays. Step one, if you can enter into data analyst job, and after that, if you're interested in data science, you can go with the step number 2. In your company itself, you can try to take a jump, and their packages also in this range lies. Data analyst package is usually less than data engineer, data science, then machine learning engineer, AI researcher. So all of them are somehow getting the similar kind of a package, but you can observe that data scientist people are somehow getting in all of these domains a higher salary, higher package, because the expectations from them is also higher, right? They should have a good understanding of many things altogether. So Your main purpose at the end of the day, after gaining a lot of experience, is to become data scientist, so that you will have a full-fledged idea of all of the domains, and that you will easily get it. Even there are companies who are hiring as a freshers also as a data science position. When I was pursuing my masters from IIT Hyderabad, I remember there are multiple companies which comes up as a taking a freshers only for data science position. So same thing can happen in your college as well. So if you will get this kind of opportunity where from the very first day itself in your company, you get a chance to directly work with data science team, you will learn a lot. But obviously you have to make sure don't get disheartened, because the kind of work initially you will feel is too much, because everything is quite learning, right, for you. And there's a lot of learning process which is available in the specific domains, so we have to learn more. Even till today I cannot say that I am having a great expertise over all of these things. Till today I am learning a lot of new stuffs. Every day is a new day for me in terms of learning when we are working with the projects in the industries. So that's the whole point. So continuous learning is one of the key skill set if you want to enter into these specific domains. Make sure you should have this attribute within you. If you don't have, please don't go with these domains. These domains are only for those specific people who will be having a great sense of continuous learning. It's not that if your job, you will get a job, you will be free, that okay, now I'll start getting a salary, I'll enjoy my life. That is a different thing, but you have to learn on a daily basis in the company itself. That is the one thing which you always have to remember, right? So I think now you get a clear idea about what are the career opportunities we have in data science and what is the difference between all of these positions. Is that clear to everyone? Make sense? I think I have seen multiple questions from the very starting. People have these questions that, Priya, what is the difference between these positions that we are seeing? I hope that this brings the clarity within you. And now you know that, okay, for which specific position I should directly go for and which specific position interests me a lot, right? After this, I already have talked about, but just to cut a long story short, what are the exact pathway to get that career? So programming language, in terms of that, Python or R is the better one. If you want to go inside research specific domain, for example, few minutes back I have talked about AI researcher, or let's say you want to go into mathematical side of domain, then in that point of time R is preferable. Otherwise go with Python programming, because as I told you, it contains lot many great frameworks which you can use in your daily work, right? These frameworks includes pandas, numpy, scikit-learn, tensorflow, pytorch, so you can use them very easily in your daily work, and it's quite handy for you, right? In terms of data visualization also, we have Python frameworks like matplotlib and cmon. Apart from this, Power BI, Tableau, MS Excel is again the BI tools which at least those people who are from or who wants to enter into data analytics domain should be aware of, right? Big data tools, this is again for those people who wants to enter into data engineering domain: Hadoop, Spark, Hive, Scoop. Databases, SQL, NoSQL. And on top of all of these domains, one thing which I don't want to left over here, because I have seen many people don't uh, explain the importance of DSA in these specific domains. I don't want to be among them. So basically, always remember, you will observe that I have seen so many people who have a great idea, great knowledge about whatever key skill sets I have mentioned, but they're lagging in DSA, data structure algorithms. Now, what is happening when you will go to the companies to get the interview done? In the very first round, they will ask you DSA. Now, you will be like, "Ki, I have prepared a great projects. I have a great knowledge of all of these things which I have talked about today, but I just forget to prepare DSA." So what is the sense of doing all of these things? Because in the very first round, they will filter you on the basis of DSA itself. And if you don't able to crack that round, in the second round, you won't reach. They will not ask you any projects. They will not discuss with you the other knowledge part which you have. So always and always make sure, if your focus is on product based companies, Specifically in those scenarios, DSA plays a very important role. And when I'm saying DSA, because our focus is on data science job roles, they will not expect you to know the hard level DSA. See, there are two positions in the industry. One is software engineering, which was from the past few years we already have seen, right? If you're applying for software engineer position, front end, a web developer, right? Back end, all of these. In that case, you should have a great idea about DSA, right? They will be having a system design rounds. They will be having a lead code hard level problems round altogether. But when we're talking about data science, they know that, okay, we will not use in that much detailing DSA, but definitely just to get a filter, just to get an idea that who are the people who are having a strong problem solving skill set, they will ask you in the initial rounds. So at least on a lead code platform, you can go and practice easy to intermediate level problems. Easy to intermediate DSA you should be aware of, right? You should be aware of linear and non-linear data structures, divide and conquer strategies, recursion, dynamic programming, all of these concepts, but not in that much depthness. At least awareness is there so that if you get some question, you know that, okay, how can I solve this problem? How can I approach this problem? So that is the whole idea with respect to the skill set part. After that, innovation in data science, right? So I don't think there is a need to talk about this a lot more because you have observed all around the world. Generative AI is something which is quite booming nowadays. As I told you, in any kind of domain where you observe that data is somehow generating, we are generating somehow the data by the model. That is where generative AI comes into picture. Second, innovation is explainable AI, where people are working a lot, specifically in healthcare domain. For example, if let's say my few minutes back I have talked about one use case, right? Cancer use case. So my model says that let's say that person is having a cancer, cancerous cells is available. So can that model give a explanation for the same? Because doctors cannot rely, right? It's a risk factor towards the health of patients. So we cannot rely on the decisions of model. We want the explanation for the same. And that is where explainable AI comes into picture. Specifically in healthcare domain, you will observe that it's quite booming domain. After that, we have auto ML and no code platforms. I hope you have seen these kind of platforms as well, where automatically code is generating. GitHub Copilot is a good example for the same. So you will observe that nowadays this kind of innovation is happening because if let's say there is someone who is not from a programming background and there is someone who don't know how to write the codes, nowadays it's quite easy. We have a platforms where just by click of button automatically we can try to create the complete pipeline of machine learning. We can write the code automatically with the help of the tools like GitHub Copilot, which is basically doing our task in a more easier fashion. So the dependency is not on the people who are from programming background nowadays. The dependency is on those people who are having a great skill set in terms of dealing with the good problem solving ideas. So people are looking for those candidates who are having a great idea in terms of solving the problems. So you should be a problem solver, not be a problem creator. You should know that if let's say any problem happened, what are the key steps which I can follow to resolve that issue. That's the whole idea, right? So that's the whole point of today's session, which I want to talk about over today. So I think we have completely covered up all of these things. Just to again brief you as per what things we have covered up. We have talked about what is data science in the very first part. In that, I have showcased you the complete pipeline for the same. After that, we have seen the impact of this specific field in the industries. Third thing which we have talked about is the opportunities, where I have tried to explain you each and every domain in a lot more detail and what are the skill sets requirement with respect to every domain. In the next section, we have covered up how we can reach to this specific domain. We have talked about important skill sets which is required. Next part where we have talked about innovations which are happening currently in the industry. And that's the whole objective of, I think, today's session, which I think gives you a lot of idea now that what is this domain is all about and what are the things which we need to work upon in ourselves so that we can reach to a stage where we can easily grab the jobs, where we can easily become that candidate where people will come to us and give us a lot many opportunities. Another thing, apart from the industries, right? I didn't mention this thing, but I'm from apart from industry, edtech domain as well. So I should talk about that as well. There are so many opportunities in terms of teaching also. So if you can see, right, nowadays the people who are the experts or who are in this specific domain, many people are calling to them. For example, today I came up here because someone connected with me that Priya, we want this specific session on data science. If let's say my domain is not from this domain, I won't be coming here and talk about these stuffs, right? So what I'm trying to convey over here, on a daily basis, I'm saying that I got so many requests regarding these kind of sessions. What I'm observing nowadays is that people are more curious to know this domain, and because if you get this kind of a knowledge where people are also interested in terms of getting a guidance, in terms of taking your courses, in terms of taking your wisdom or knowledge with respect to whatever things you have learned, definitely this is a plus point, right? This is a plus point in terms of that, okay, if let's say in future you are planning to completely working upon sharing your knowledge itself, you can do that, and you can earn a handsome amount of money from there as well. So that's the whole idea. Apart from taking about the job perspective, in terms of if you want to go to the mentoring side also, this is a very good domain. Okay, so I think that is the whole idea. Is remote job available for freshers? Let's take questions one by one now.
Yes, ma'am.
But before that,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, Gautam, you have anything to?
Uh,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the information session. And we will now move to question answer portion. We will start from the question we gathered from Google Form yesterday. I would like to invite Mr. Hidyanand. Open your mic, Hidyanand, and ask some question from Google Form.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Gautam.
yeah.
But ma'am already covered my all questions because I would like to
Oh,
thank you, ma'am. Your presentation is very detailed. So I would like to
yeah,
invite Alok if you have any query.
yeah. Look, just mute and unmute
Yeah, am
yourself,
I
and
audible?
if you have any question. Yeah, yeah, sure.
So I noted some questions from Google Form that I get tomorrow. Ma'am, most of the student asks, could you share any advice on how to build a best portfolio on a standout project that can catch the attention of project hiring manager in product-based company, a service-based company? That is first
Okay.
question that I
Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about projects, it's a good question. Please try to create the projects in such a way that it should not look that you are working in a dummy data. What is the meaning of dummy data? Like, for example, we have some open source data sets available. For example, you must have heard the name of Iris data, Titanic data, right? All of these are the very small size data sets. Don't try to mention these kind of works in your resume. Definitely, that will not considered as a great work. What is that great work? Try to work upon an open source data which is having a huge amount of records. For example, there are various sites available. Government sites are there. For healthcare, there is a site of Physionat. You can just check it out on the again GPT platform. That what are the standard websites we have from where we can get the real time open source data. One thing is try to work upon those data sets. Don't work on the sklearn data sets. It is good in terms of learning. If you're learning the things and you're using the data, it's good. But when you're trying to create your own projects, try to work upon a real time data. Second thing, that when you're trying to create a resume, you can refer again my YT channel for the same. Maybe I'll try to share the link of the video which I have created in a lot more detail about the resume part. I usually prefer Overleaf platform to create the resume. You can check it out from my platform. I have detailed share that how the code part or latex file will be created. Everything I have shared, even I have shared the template of my resume as well on that video. So you can just go check it out. What I'm trying to convey over there, try to make it simpler, and it should be as a fresher one page resume. I have seen that there are people who used to create 3 4 pages of resume, writing multiple projects. It doesn't make sense. As a fresher, if you can have 2 or 3 great projects in your portfolio, that's more than enough. But make sure those projects are great projects and you will be able to explain to the interviewer in a very much great detail. Third important thing, whatever projects you are creating, try to upload those projects in your GitHub profile and attach that link in your resume itself. What will happen in that case, if let's say you are having an interview and you want to explain that what code work you have done, what kind of data set you have picked up, so you can try and open your own GitHub profile and you can showcase everything. Even let's say HR wants to see your work, your interviewer wants to see your work, they can go and check your resume. Via that, they can check your GitHub profile. They can reach out to you in terms of whether they like your work or not. So these are the 3 things which you need to take care of while creating your own projects. I hope it answers your question.